So, today we're diving into a book that claims to be a secret first-hand account of the incredibly turbulent days right after the Prophet Muhammad's death. It's called the Book of Sulaim ibn Qays, and the story it tells, well, it's pretty explosive. For millions of Shia Muslims, it's considered a foundational protected truth. Let's dig in and uncover the history it presents. Right off the bat, just listen to this quote. It's attributed to the sixth Shia Imam, and it frames the book as not just some historical record, but as a secret, one belonging to the Prophet's own family. You see, that single claim is the key to understanding this entire narrative. It's a story about hidden truths, a legacy passed down only to the most trusted people, and a version of history that was supposedly meant to be protected no matter the cost. All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the book itself and its pretty incredible story of survival. Then we'll jump into the really dramatic events it claims to record. Prophecies from the Prophet's last days, a huge power struggle over who would lead next, a violent confrontation at his daughter's home, and finally, a prophecy that would split his followers forever. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is this book? And why do its followers see it as so absolutely fundamental? Well, its power really lies in where it claims to come from. Okay, so according to the tradition, this is the very first collection of hadith, narrations or teachings, in all of Shia Islam. And it was supposedly written down by Sulaim ibn Qays, who was a direct companion of Imam Ali, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law. That claimed origin gives it this immense weight. It positions the book as an eyewitness account from someone right at the center of everything. But the story of the book is almost as dramatic as the story in the book. This wasn't some text that was just passed around freely. Nope. According to the tradition, it was hidden, it was protected, and it was handed down through a really dangerous chain of custody. So the narrative starts with Sulaim secretly writing all this stuff down. But then he has to flee persecution under this tyrannical governor. As he's nearing death, he finds a 14-year-old boy named Aban and makes him swear a sacred oath to protect the book. But here's the final crucial step: verification. Aban eventually takes the book to the fourth Shia Imam, who reportedly looks it over and confirms it, saying, "These are all our narrations which we know." And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of how secret this whole thing was. Sulaim's final instruction wasn't, "Go publish this." It was to keep it safe, to only pass it to someone you absolutely trust, a religious follower of Ali. This just hammers home the idea that this knowledge was considered dangerous, a secret meant only for the inner circle. Okay, so we've covered the book's wild journey. Now let's get into the explosive stuff that's actually inside it. It all kicks off with prophecies that the Prophet himself allegedly made in his final days, basically setting the stage for everything that was about to happen. The book claims the Prophet declared 7 unique merits for his family, the Ahl Bayt, and a couple of these are absolutely critical. First, that his successor, Ali, would be the best of all successors. And second, that the future guide, the Mahdi, would come from his family line. This wasn't just him being nice. This was a declaration that established a special spiritual and political rank for his family, setting them apart from everyone else. And this is a really key moment. The book draws a direct line between Ali's future and the struggles of the prophet Aaron, or Harun. You can see the comparison here. Just like Aaron was nearly killed by his own people, the prophet supposedly warns Ali that he's going to face that same kind of opposition. And he tells him, look, if you have support, fight. But if you're left alone, just be patient. It's a heavy, powerful warning of the trials to come. And that prophetic warning, well, it leads us right into the central conflict of the book, the chaos that erupted the moment the prophet died. The text paints this really stark picture. On one hand, you have Ali and the immediate family totally absorbed in the sacred duty of preparing the prophet's body for burial. But at the exact same time, a political meeting is happening at a place called Saqifa. A group of companions gathers there and moves to pick a new leader, ultimately choosing Abu Bakr. Now, according to this narrative, Ali doesn't just sit back and accept this. As you can see here, for 3 nights straight, he, his wife Fatima, and their 2 young sons go door to door. They're pleading with the Prophet's companions, reminding them of his rights, asking for their help. And many of them promise to show up the next morning armed and ready. But every single morning, only the same 4 loyal men actually show up. And that isolation, that feeling of being abandoned as it's described in the book, it all leads to the most dramatic and frankly the most controversial event in the entire text, a direct physical confrontation at the home of Ali and Fatima. The situation then just completely boils over. The book attributes this chilling threat directly to Omar, who allegedly demands that Ali come out and pledge allegiance to the new leader, or else they will burn his house down. This is the absolute peak of the tension, and it leads directly to tragedy. And this right here, this is the heart of the tragedy as it's told in Sulaim's book. It claims the threat was real. The door was set on fire and forced open. The Prophet's own daughter, Fatima, stood in the doorway trying to protect her husband. In the chaos that follows, the book alleges she was struck so hard that it caused a miscarriage and ultimately led to her death soon after, an event her followers refer to as her martyrdom. So, what's the fallout from all of this? Well, according to the text, it's not just a political split. It's the fulfillment of a divine prophecy about the future of the entire community. You see, the prophet is said to have predicted that his community, his ummah, would fracture. The big question was into how many groups, and the number he supposedly gave was 73. And here's where the stakes are laid bare. Of those 73 sects, the prophecy says that 72 of them, as you can see, almost all of them, would be misguided, destined for hell. Only one single path, followed by one single sect, would lead to salvation. The implication is huge. Choosing the right side of the split isn't just a matter of opinion, it's a matter of eternal consequence. So, what defines that one saved sect? Well, according to the Book of Sulaim, it's the group that recognizes the divine right to leadership, the imamate of Ali and the Prophet's family after him. It's those who believe that obeying them is required by the Quran and the Prophet's own traditions, which directly links salvation back to all those events we just talked about. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. The Book of Sulaim ibn Qays presents this incredibly powerful alternative history of a truly pivotal moment. Whether you view it as sacred truth or as a piece of historical argument, its survival forces us to ask a really big question. How do foundational stories like this one, stories filled with secrets, betrayal, and a deep, painful split, end up forging an identity that can last for over 1,000 years and shape the memory of millions?